Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well, and that you'll embark on this little rant with me. You'll allow me to rant at you for a little bit because I'm tired of the hatred. I'm tired of the negativity toward the millennial generation on a lot of fronts, but specifically on the artistic front. Because here's the thing: while yeah, there's a lot of terrible music out there that millennials have made and millennials support. Every generation has bad music. And at the end of the day, like every decade, every generation, the dust is going to settle. The cream is going to rise to the top. And I think at the end of the day, like the shit that we made that was good, the shit that we supported that was good, it's going to be great. And it's going to look better than I think a lot of the stuff that came out even further in the past. Because here's the thing, we have a lot of great stuff going on right now. And I feel like when somebody sees a little Xan or whatever the artist of the month is that seems like they're making the dumbest, silliest, most pointless, most just like brainless, mindless music, whatever it is. No matter who that is, their 15 minutes of fame is going to be up. And while we may have people like that, God, this is just like a short list of just stuff I jotted down, just off the top of my head. Just off the top, I'm not even. This isn't even everybody. This isn't even everybody worth mentioning, or everybody who, in retrospect, is gonna be seen as having made good stuff. I mean, Kendrick Lamar, right off the top. Kendrick fucking Lamar, who has so many rap albums under their belt that are so deeply conceptual, cinematic, ambitious, and fantastic. Dude is revolutionizing a genre. And how often do you get an artist who does that? You know what I'm saying? And doing it to the degree that he's doing it. Kanye West, always evolving, always challenging, always trying something different. Sure, he's not exactly a millennial, too old to be a millennial, but he is a millennial artist. He is an artist that millennials love, support, and his creativity would not be there if for not millennials enjoying and putting faith in what he does. I also kind of see Radiohead and Godspeed You Black Emperor in the same way. Both bands that revolutionize certain subgenres of rock music and have incredibly unique and idiosyncratic sounds, so much so that people just rip them off over and over and over. Frank Ocean, incredibly emotive and thoughtful singer and songwriter, who I think is still at a point in his career where he's very young and he's very talented, but somewhat inexperienced to a degree. I feel like his ability to write tunes and to convey emotion in song is only going to get better from here. Danny Brown, enigmatic rapper. How many rappers out there sound like or will ever sound like or have sounded like Danny Brown? Dude is on a wave and a sound and a style and a delivery all his own. Tyler, the Creator. Dude has really kind of come into his own both artistic and commercially over the past few years. It's to the point where he's not just this weird, obscure, abrasive outlier in the rap scene. Like, he's legitimately making great music that is transcending cultural and musical and genre boundaries, and has won over a lot of his former critics with just the increase in quality of his stuff over the years. Fucking Converge, one of the best bands of metalcore ever. Janelle Monáe, Need I Say More? LCD Sound System, again, a lot of members in the band not exactly in the millennial generation, but an artist, a band that millennials support. MF Doom, whoa, MF Doom. How many rappers do you get out there like MF Doom ever? How many artists out there do you get like MF Doom ever? To the point where you're talking about the lyricism, the type of instrumentals he makes and hops on top of, the lore, the character, the imagery that he puts into what he does. Very little forethought and conceptuality goes into so many of an artist's records. Even Doom on a bad day is working with more layers than a lot of classic artists are on a good day. Animal Collective, so cutting edge, so risky, so experimental, like totally opened up an entirely new lane in pop and neo-psychedelic music. Death Grips, again, need I say more? Like, you guys already know the story with Death Grips. You only get one Death Grips in a generation, believe me. Fucking Clips, great. Couple of great records. And listen, like, every artist falls off. Every artist hits a point where they break up or they're just not together anymore. But the thing is, like, Clips, while they were together, they came out with great, fantastic music. Fucking Gorillaz, amazing. Demon Days, fantastic. Plastic Beach, fantastic. Humans, yeah, sure, it sucks. But the thing is, gorillas at their peak, I would say gorillas at their peak are as entertaining or as creative as a lot of artists who were at their peak in the 90s or the 80s. Are you kidding me? Beck. A lot of millennials love and support Beck. Elliott Smith. A lot of millennials love and support Elliott Smith, one of the best songwriters that there had ever been. Sort of portrayed his sadness in song in a way that very few other writers did. Boris. Sufjan Stevens. How many songwriters out there, literally, like throughout the whole, all of folk, country, everything, all of it, all the songwriters. How many songwriters out there, through the history of popular songwriting, have been as dynamic, has been as conceptual, have been as creative, have been so all over the map creatively, and have seen so much success with almost everything he tries his hand at, has been able to string his career out for as long as he has, and continue to receive accolades and excitement and passion with each new record, each new release. Come on, man. St. Vincent, Jay Retard, great. Julia Holter, bringing together elements of like chamber pop, ambient pop, and dream pop into such a beautiful, pillowy, elegant, gorgeous sound. How many women can you say have sort of forged the sound that she has as creatively as she has? Beach House, at their creative peak, they were coming out with great shit. When you have people out there talking about how there's a drop in musicianship, there aren't any interesting musicians anymore. Where are the great players? Are they listening to Alabama Shakes? Are they listening to Thundercat? Have you seen that dude live? Have you seen Thundercat live? Have you seen Colin Stetson? Are you seeing Kamasi Washington play live? Are you seeing Kamasi and his band play live? There are great musicians with great chops in this generation as well. Great experimental and electronic artists too. Nicholas Jarre, One O Tricks Point Never, frickin' Tim Hecker. And the list goes from beyond there. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just a few. That's just a couple. That's just a taste. Flying Lotus. Another artist too has brought together so many different genres and trends and waves in his music and melded them into this intergalactic psychedelic sound. Joanna Newsom. Jesus Christ, Joanna Newsom. Nails. Ariel Pink. Tame Impala. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. FKA Twigs. An artist who has, in a lot of ways, revolutionized this more experimental wing of the R&B genre. Rhapsody, one of the better female artists out there, incredibly thought-provoking, emotional, and profound, and conscious songs throughout a lot of her discography. Perfume Genius, Mark Kozelek. How can you tell me that Mark Kozelek, again, not a member of the millennial generation, but an artist that millennials support, who has continued to see success past Red House Painters, past a lot of his earlier solo stuff. Again, he's been around a long time, but millennials love his newest shit. And the reason that he does, and the reason that millennials do, the reason that it resonates with them is because he's making quality music. He's making stuff that you can't tell me that Mark Kozelek doesn't have a sound and a style all his own, much in the same way a contemporary folk artist might have in the 60s or the 70s. Mark has a voice, Mark has a lyrical style, Mark has a delivery that is uniquely him, that is catching on so much that you have younger artists or even his contemporaries today who are copying that shit and putting it on their records. Angel Olsen, who is only getting better and better as she continues along. Very good songwriter. Beyonce. How many female pop artists at the level that Beyonce is at in the past have come out with a record as deeply conceptual as Lemonade? How many? You're counting on one, maybe two hands. You know what I mean? So, geez. How many female pop artists out there are challenging the boundaries of the genre, going so futuristic that it's just blatantly like whacked out as Charlie XCX? I mean, it might not all be amazing. It might not all be the best. But geez, like she's trying, she's doing something. She's on the cutting edge. She's experimenting. She's challenging. You know what I mean? You can't just say that everybody's falling into these bland, stupid, mindless trends when you legitimately have artists out there who are testing waters. Baroness, great metal band. Ghost, great metal band. Mastodon, great metal band. Igloo Ghost, fucking great producer. I already mentioned Alabama Shakes and Thundercat, who you should definitely see live. Chelsea Wolfe, fantastic. Like, how many female artists out there have been proven in the past to be as versatile as Chelsea Wolfe, as all over the place stylistically as Chelsea Wolfe, as consistent as Chelsea Wolfe? I mean, even at her lowest, she's at least trying something interesting. Wolves in the Throne Room, who in a lot of ways single-handedly just like created this flood of interest in America, in the underground scene, in black metal all of a sudden. Clipping, how many rap artists out there can you say wrote and produced a rap record about a fucking an escaping slave in an intergalactic slave ship? Not many. You can't say that's happening with many. The Strokes, Arcade Fire at their peak had great records. Like, this generation, the past 20 years have been filled with great music, and I don't know what else to say beyond that. Like, that we have good shit, we have good stuff. And again, this is not even everybody. This is not even everybody I could talk about. It's my job every day to cover new stuff that is good and that's worthwhile. And again, I just kind of hate hearing, not just from older people, but also from people within this generation too, that, you know, new music sucks, everything fucking sucks, millennial music sucks, millennials don't have any taste, millennials are stupid, Lil Xan, Tekashi 6ix9ine, blah, 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 blah. Like, I get there's a lot of dumb, trendy stuff out there, but again, at the end of the day, the stuff that artistically matters, the stuff that is artistically of substance, that's what's gonna stay. That's what's gonna last, because that has been how it's played out every decade before this one, and I don't see how we're gonna be ever any different, truly and honestly. Maybe things feel a little bit more hectic and saturated right now because we have access to so much thanks to the internet. So sometimes when something is good, it does take a little bit to kind of break through. But you can't say that there aren't great artists out right now selling well, making worthwhile records that last more than 15 minutes in terms of the fame and the interest that they hold in the public eye. We come out with good shit. And we're all over the place. We're super creative. And, you know, you can't say that there isn't new stuff happening right now. There is. There most certainly is. You know, the thing is that progress, when you're there, you're in the middle of it, you're on the cusp of it. It sort of seems like it's hard to see coming, because, and it seems like in a way maybe it's a farther away into the future than you think it is, or that things are maybe not as refreshing and as new or moving as fast as you might like them to, because, you know, when you're just kind of perusing over everything great that's happened over the past 50 or 60 years in hindsight and just kind of flipping through it, just looking at the highlights, it seems like it's all kind of moving at the fucking speed of light when it's really not. So I'm going to leave it at that. This generation makes and supports great music. It makes and supports great music. So be proud to be a part of this generation of fans and artists, because a lot of good stuff is happening, and I think is going to continue to happen. You're the best. Thank you for watching me rant and rave about this forever.